All right, let's dive into Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. We've got some juicy excerpts to unpack that'll really help you at your upcoming book club meeting.
It's a classic for sure.
For good reason. Even though it's set in 19th century Russia, the themes are so relatable. Love, society, family drama, it's all there.
Timelessly human, really.
Exactly. So our first excerpt introduces Stepan Arkadyevich. His wife, Dolly, has just found out about his, well, affair.
Oh, that's never good.
Yeah, understatement of the century. But he's kind of brushing it off with humor, like deflecting from how serious it is.
I like when he jokes about the clockmaker at his house, saying the guy must have been wound up for a lifetime just to wind clocks.
Right, like everything will just sort itself out magically.
I was wondering about that. Do you think that's on purpose? Like a strategy or just how he copes?
That's a good question. It does seem like he's avoiding any responsibility.
Yeah, using charm and lightheartedness to get through tough spots.
But how long could that last,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. And Tolstoy makes that avoidance of responsibility a key part of his character. Should be interesting to see how it affects his relationships with Dolly and, everyone else.
Totally. Now, shifting gears a bit, we're introduced to Levin.
Such a contrast to Stefan Arkadyevich.
Oh yeah, Levin is serious, introspective, constantly searching for meaning in life.
What I find so interesting is Levin's desire to find meaning in work isn't just some random personality trait. It reflects what Tolstoy himself was thinking about at the time.
Really?
Yeah, the changes happening in society then. Levin's questioning the role of the aristocracy, just like Tolstoy was.
Oh wow, I didn't catch that connection.
It's subtle but powerful, tying individual struggles to the bigger picture.
I like that, adding another layer to Levin.
For sure.
We also find out about Levin's interest in Kitty Sherbatskaya, but her family, not so keen on him, think they want someone a little more, how do they say it, socially advantageous.
Right. Definitely setting up some romantic tension there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Tolstoy doesn't just tell us about these societal expectations
No, he shows us.
through Kitty's family.
It's a great example of using, contrasting characters to highlight how much pressure people feel to fit in.
Super clever.
Yeah.
And then there's that scene where Levin confesses to Stepan Arkadyevich about Kitty. He's a nervous wreck. Poor guy. And Stepan Arkadyevich, smooth operator that he is, tries to give him advice.
What'd you think of that scene? I found Levin's discomfort with Stepan Arkadyevich's cynical view of love really telling.
Me too.
Hmm?
Levin sees love as this huge, important thing, not some game to be won like Stepan Arkadyevich suggests.
And Stepan Arkadyevich's advice, though maybe well-meaning,
Comes across as shallow.
almost insulting to Levin's sincerity.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It emphasizes how differently they see the world and relationship.
For sure. Plus we get that glimpse of Levin yearning for purity, like redemption for past mistakes.
Right, hoping that true love with Kitty will kind of cleanse him.
That yearning for purity, it comes up a lot with Levin.
And that excerpt ends leaving us hanging. Will Kitty's family even accept him?
Gotta read on to find out. Now, on to the grand entrance of Anna Karenina herself, at the train station, meeting Vronsky for the first time.
And that connection between them is instant.
Electric. Almost.
So vivid, even just reading it.
And remember, there's that train accident happening at the same time. A worker killed.
Oh yeah, that was...
A lot. More than just some random event, though, I think. Foreshadowing the disruption, the tragedy coming into Anna's life.
like a warning sign.
Exactly. Things are gonna get messy.
Definitely a bad omen. Tolstoy is so good at using those symbols.
The best.
We also meet Anna's brother, Stefan Arkadyevich, again.
Of course.
And she immediately feels for Dolly. Little does Anna know she's about to go through something even worse.
It's kind of ironic she comes in with all this compassion.
Right, but she's headed for a world of pain.
So striking, that contrast between her innocence and the trials to come.
Makes you think about the choices we make and how life can surprise you.
And how much control we really have over our own fate when strong emotions and society are involved.
No kidding. Now we get to that confession scene.
Where Anna tells Dolly about her feelings for Vronsky.
So raw and emotional. Anna's convinced that his remorse is real, that their love can conquer anything.
But Dolly, remembering her own experience, warns her about what society will think.
Like a reality check.
But Anna, blinded by love, dismisses it all. What did you think of Dolly's reaction?
It broke my heart. You can tell she cares so much for Anna, but she knows how harsh the world can be.
Her words are almost like prophecy.
Like foreshadowing the trouble ahead.
Makes you wonder, what if Anna had listened?
Right. That's the kind of question that sticks with you.
Did Anna have any control over her own destiny, or was she doomed from the start?
Big questions for your book club. And meanwhile, poor Levin's back in the countryside, licking his wounds after Kitty rejected him.
Throwing himself into work on his estate.
But he's not finding much comfort there either, is he?
Nope. He's really wrestling with Tolstoy's ideas about finding meaning in work, and he's not satisfied with how things are done traditionally.
And he wants something more.
He wants his work to matter, to help his workers.
He's always looking for that sense of purpose, both in love and in work.
It makes you think. Can we ever find true fulfillment just through outward achievements?
Another good one for the book club. It feels like we've only scratched the surface, and it's already so thought-provoking.
So much more to come as we go deeper into their lives and choices. You know, we were talking about Levin and that carriage ride before.
Oh yeah, with Kitty just passing by while he's out in the field.
It seems like a small thing, but it sparks this huge realization in him.
Right, like a light bulb moment.
As the carriage disappears, it hits him. Kitty is the key to his happiness, almost as if he's seeing her clearly for the first time.
I get that. And that disappearing carriage, it's a powerful image, isn't it?
So powerful. It represents those missed opportunities we all have, and then suddenly realizing what we truly want.
Levin's surrounded by the simple life, and he gets this clarity.
While Anna is heading into a world of complications.
It's so interesting how their journeys contrast.
Right. Anna's chasing passionate love, risking it all.
And Levin's drawn to family, connection to the land. Makes you wonder if Tolstoy is saying there are different ways to be happy, or if one is better than the other.
That's a great question for your book club. Tolstoy keeps us guessing. Plus, this scene makes it seem like Levin might get a second chance with Kitty.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Speaking of second chances, Anna's relationship with Vronsky is getting more intense.
But there's a price to pay.
Yeah, she's more and more isolated from society. All those whispers and judgments start to get to her.
Like she's being suffocated by the very thing she's defying.
What I find so insightful is how Tolstoy shows us the effect of that isolation on Anna.
Totally, especially when it comes to her son, Seroza. She wants to be a mother to him, but can't.
Torn between her love for Vronsky and her motherly instincts.
It's powerful and honestly so relatable even now.
Makes you think about the sacrifices we make for love.
And are they worth it?
And how society seems to judge women more harshly than men when they break the rules.
That double standard is something Tolstoy really brings out in Anna's story.
Then there's that scene where Vronsky confronts Anna about seeing Seroza. We see Vronsky's jealousy and possessiveness coming out.
Remember, at first, he loved her for her independent spirit.
Right.
But now he feels threatened by her needing anything outside their relationship.
Almost like he wants to own her completely.
Makes you wonder if their love can survive all this pressure and Vronsky's own insecurities.
Yeah. Things feel ominous.
Like their passion is turning destructive.
Meanwhile, Levin's finally married Kitty.
But married life isn't always easy, even for them.
Definitely not a fairy tale.
What's cool is how Tolstoy uses their relationship to explore, the real challenges of marriage. Levin's so intense and idealistic.
Yeah.
He clashes with Kitty's practicality, her desire for a peaceful family.
It's realistic. Even couples who love each other deeply have to figure out their differences.
Compromise is key.
So true. And throughout all this, Levin's still searching for meaning. He gets really interested in faith and spirituality.
This is where you see Tolstoy's own journey coming through, I think.
How so?
Levin has doubts, inconsistencies in his beliefs.
Just like Tolstoy.
Exactly. He's drawn to the simple faith of the peasants, but his logical mind questions all the religious doctrines.
A struggle lots of people can relate to. What I love is how Levin's search for faith connects to his experiences in nature.
Absolutely. It's like nature represents his spiritual growth.
He starts to understand how everything is connected.
The cycle of life and death.
Finding a kind of faith that goes beyond traditional religion.
It's beautiful and so thought-provoking.
And tragedy strikes. Levin's brother, Nikolai, gets terminally ill.
Such a turning point for him.
Levin sees how pointless medical interventions can be, how fragile life is. It shakes him to his core.
He realizes how superficial society's rules are. In the face of death, none of that matters.
A huge existential moment.
This experience changes Levin. He finds comfort in taking care of his brother, just being present.
Letting go of his intellectual struggles and embracing the raw emotions.
Sometimes, the biggest lessons come from unexpected places.
So true. Now, Anna and Vronsky decide to escape from all the judgment in Russia by going abroad.
That trip to Italy was supposed to be a romantic getaway.
But it doesn't quite work out that way, does it?
Their problems follow them. It becomes a reflection of their troubled relationship.
They have moments of happiness, sure.
But there's always this underlying tension.
Like, they're trying to outrun their problems, but those problems are packed in their suitcases.
Exactly. And Anna can't escape the guilt she feels about leaving Seroja.
Even in a beautiful Italian setting, the consequences of her choices catch up to her.
Vronsky, too, feels the strain, despite loving Anna.
He wants a normal life, a family, acceptance from society.
But with Anna, that seems impossible.
Their arguments become more frequent.
That passionate love is now fueling their conflict.
It's like their love is turning toxic.
Consuming them both.
Eventually, they come back to Russia.
Hoping for some kind of normalcy.
But things have changed while they were gone.
Their time abroad just made their problems bigger.
Anna's even more ostracized, more dependent on Vronsky.
And Vronsky's frustrated, withdrawing into his work, his horse racing.
Those cracks in their relationship are widening.
Their happy facade is crumbling.
It's like walking straight back into the lion's den.
The whispers, the judgments, it all comes rushing back.
Remember, this is 19th century Russia.
Super strict social rules, moral codes.
Anna broke those codes, and there are consequences.
She's an outcast.
And that takes a toll on her.
Society's power can really shape our lives.
Even dictate our happiness.
It's heartbreaking to see Anna like this. Trapped.
Judged, isolated, and clinging to Vronsky, who seems to be pulling away.
All this, plus the constant reminders of what she's done.
It pushes Anna towards a dangerous edge.
Her actions are unpredictable, her moods change so quickly.
Tolstoy's portrayal of her unraveling is just masterful.
It's captivating, but disturbing, too.
You can't help but feel for Anna, even though she's making choices that seem self-destructive.
It really makes you wonder, is there any way out for her at this point?
That's the big question hanging over everything now.
Can love survive when it's constantly under attack? Can Anna find redemption? Or is this all going to end tragically? Those are the questions we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive.
And I think the answers might surprise you. Get ready for some serious emotional twists as we uncover the final acts of this story. When we left off, Anna was really struggling, getting more and more desperate.
It's tough to watch.
Tolstoy doesn't sugarcoat it, you know. He shows us what can happen when someone feels that trapped, that alone.
It's definitely a cautionary tale, but it's also deeply human.
And that's what makes it so gripping, even though we kind of know it's coming.
Right.
So, let's talk about the ending. Anna, convinced she's lost Vronsky completely, she makes a drastic, irreversible decision.
This is where Tolstoy's writing really shines. He takes us inside her head.
You feel her pain.
The torment, the despair, how twisted her thinking has become. It's like everything's built up to this point.
The judgment from society, the guilt about her son, the fear of losing Vronsky.
It all comes crashing down.
It's a moment that really takes your breath away, even though we could see it coming.
I know what you mean.
It makes you think about everything. Love, society, the choices we make, and how they affect everyone.
And the other characters definitely feel the impact.
Oh, absolutely. Vronsky, filled with guilt and regret, he tries to find redemption by going off to war.
To Serbia.
Like he wants to punish himself for what happened to Anna.
It's so different from Levin's journey, isn't it?
Totally. While Vronsky's facing the horrors of war, Levin's back in the countryside, embracing family life.
Finding peace in the simple things.
It brings us back to those big questions Tolstoy is exploring. Where do we find true happiness? In defying society for passionate love, or in accepting life's ups and downs, finding joy in family and community?
No easy answers there.
Nope. But even with his newfound peace, Levin's still wrestling with his doubts, his uncertainties.
Still seeking a deeper understanding of faith, of life's purpose.
That's what makes Levin so fascinating. He's not perfect.
He's flawed.
Always questioning, always searching. I think that's something we can all relate to, in a way.
Absolutely. It's like Tolstoy saying, the search for meaning never really ends.
It's a lifelong journey.
Full of twists and turns. It's about the journey itself, not some final destination.
I love that. It's so inspiring. It reminds us to embrace those complexities, to question things, and to find beauty and meaning even when things are tough.
And that's a powerful message, especially in today's world. We're always looking for quick fixes, simple answers.
Anna Karenina shows us that life is messy and unpredictable, but there's still beauty to be found in all of that.
It's a novel that stays with you.
It really does. As we wrap up this deep dive, what are some key takeaways you think would spark a good conversation at your book club?
Well, I think it's crucial to consider how much society influenced Anna's fate.
Yeah.
Was she really a victim, or does she have control over her choices? How does Tolstoy use her story to criticize the hypocrisy of his time, those double standards?
Great questions. And what about Levin? What does his search for meaning tell us about what Tolstoy believed? And how does his connection to nature play a role in his spiritual growth?
And don't forget about the ending. What do you all think about Vronsky trying to find redemption through war? And has Levin truly found peace, or is he still struggling with those big existential questions?
There's so much to discuss. Anna Karenina really makes you think, even after you finish reading it. It's a masterpiece that can be interpreted in so many ways, leading to endless debates and discussions.
Exactly. That's why it's still relevant today. The themes of love, societal expectations, that search for meaning, they're timeless.
And Tolstoy's characters, so flawed and real, they speak to us even now.
For sure.
I'm sure your book club will have tons to talk about, lots of insights to share. This deep dive should give you plenty to contribute.
And who knows, maybe you'll learn something new about yourselves along the way. Anna Karenina has a way of making you look inward, re-examine your own choices, your beliefs.
That's a perfect note to end on. We hope this deep dive helped you understand Anna Karenina better.
And that you're ready to wow your book club.
Enjoy the discussion.